What is a system of equations? Well, a system of equations is when you have two unknown values, so two variables x and y, and you have two equations or two relationships in x and y. So let's take a look at a non-system first. So this is a non-system. There's only one variable, and there's an equation. So this is solvable, and we can solve this by graphing, but this is not a system yet. But let's take a look at what that looks like. So if I were to graph this, I want to first make it equal to 0. So I'm going to do x squared minus 3x minus 4 equal to 0. And then I can graph this as a parabola. So the parabola is going to look like this. It's going to come down through here, something like that. And where am I going to find the solutions to this graph? I'm going to find the solutions to this equation equal to 0. I'm going to find the solutions where it's equal to 0 on the x-axis. So just clean that up a little bit. Where it's equal to 0 is where it hits the x-axis. So in this case here, when I take a look at my graph, it's going to be at -1. So x equals -1. And here x equals, looks like +4. X equals +4. So the solution for x on the graph is where the graph crosses the x-axis. Okay, so if I want to double check this, I can always plug it back in. So if I want to check, so I get -1 squared is 1, minus -3 times -1 is +3. So 1 plus 3 is 4 equals 4. So 1 works. 16 minus 12 equals 4. Yeah, these are both perfectly valid solutions. So where it crosses the x-axis is where I find the solution. So that's a non-system. So let's take a look at a system. So a system of equations is when we have two variables, x and y. So here we have a relationship, and we have two relationships that we can graph and solve. So I'm going to graph these and find the solution to this. So this one here, my two variables, it already has a y equals, so I'm going to graph this as a y equals 3x minus 5. So when I sketch this graph in, the graph of that is going to be a slope of 3 and y-intercept of -5, something like that. And then my other graph here, -2x plus 5, is going to be a slope of 5 and a y-intercept of, slope of -2 and a y-intercept of 5. And if I want to find the answer to these, I want to find out where they intersect. Okay, so the solution is the intersection of these points. Okay, and the solution is going to be found at 0. Let's see here. Where's the solution? Okay, looks like the solution's looks like it's at about, oh, it's hard to guess at that, so I'm just going to calculate it. It's going to be at x is 2, y is 1. So the solution is at the intersection of the two lines. Okay, and we should just double check this. If this is a solution, then it should fit both equations. So when x is 2, 2 times 3 minus 5 is 1, y is 1. Yeah, that works. When x is 2, -2 times 2 is -4, plus 5 is 1. Yeah, y is 1. So it works in both cases when we check them. And we always can check equations, solutions to equations, by plugging them in.